Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. So glad that you are tuning in with us for another edition of very interesting conversation. I have a couple of guests here that are going to be in the stream on today. One is sitting across from me as we speak, and I'm excited to get into the depth of this conversation. But before we get started, I want to say Happy Black History Month to everybody who's out there. If you're listening to me and I sound a little bit raspy, I'm not trying to be sexy, just struggling to get the words out here on today. My regular producer, Matt, is not in the studio. Y'all call him White Soul. But I do have with me the afternoon girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels. Yvonne, what's good with you?
Hey, so if there's some hiccups, y'all give me some grace and mercy. I appreciate it. How you doing?
Your grace and mercy.
Yeah.
But we're glad to be with you on today. And for those who are out there, let's like, tag, and share this conversation so that others can enjoy it. Today, I have an authoress in the house with us on today. Saginaw's own, the attorney, the beautiful, the illustrious Janae Lamar. And we're going to talk a little bit about her book. So if you're looking in the social media stream, the name of the book is Single Good. Point blank, period, right? So we're going to get to talk with her in just a second. But I do want to give a shout out. This past weekend, we had an amazing time with the Help Community Violence Intervention Conference, the first inaugural. And when I tell you it was more than I hoped that it could be or would be, it absolutely was. I want to give a shout out to everybody who played such a tremendous part in making this happen. So many of you may not understand exactly what the conference was about, but it's about building out an ecosystem in our community where everyone who is a part of the community understands that they have a vital role to play in the cessation of gun violence in our community. Although we can never put an end to violence, we can curb the numbers and bring those numbers down to where they make sense for any community. Some violence is going to be baked into the fact that, you know, folks don't get along and things happen, but there is a level that is unacceptable. And here in our community, we've reached that level. But I do want to say this before I get to that, because there is a stigma that when you walk down the streets of Saginaw, you got to clutch your pearls. You're ducking and rolling under cars. That is not this. This ain't what we are. But as a matter of fact, we have a beautiful community full of people, vibrant in living, contributing great things to our community, which I so gladly love and appreciate. So we have an opportunity this past weekend to work with everyone that was there, from the courts, to we had judges there. We had community organizers and keynote speakers. We were represented from DC all the way to Saginaw. Our U.S. Congresswoman, Kristen McDonald-Rivet, came through and shared her passion for what she's doing. Stay tuned. She has a big announcement she'll be making this coming Thursday. Then also we had our state representative, Amos O'Neill, who has been a vigilante, I promise you, doing the work for our district, all the way down to our mayor, Brenda Moore. All of those individuals were there. Our keynote speaker, Yafencio Harris, Big B, was absolutely phenomenal. Brian Pruitt and Boom were in the house. HBK Boom, rocking it out with the young people in their youth session. Just community gathering. We talked about victim services. Our assistant prosecutor, Blair Stevenson, came through and did a session on the juvenile justice system and how we navigate and what's important. Very important information. A great time was had. We were empowered. And many people were just saying, hey, we were just glad that we were able to experience such a strong sense of community. To all of those sponsors, Victorious Believers Ministries came strong with financial sponsorship. The NAACP, all of those Cosby's, Coalition of Successful Black Entrepreneurs, the Men of Bethel. I want to give a shout out to our grant partners with Burn Skip, as well as M. Coles, and their support of the work that we have been doing here in this community is greatly appreciated. And we're super duper excited about what's going on. But we're going to get into this conversation today. Happy Black History Month. We know that Mr. Jackson. I almost said Reggie Jackson, but it wasn't Reggie Jackson, not hitting baseballs, but hitting out efforts towards civil rights. The great late Jesse Jackson went on, passed away at a very young age. I thought he was much older than what he was. So we celebrate him. There has been a lot of things that have been out there in terms of disparaging what he has done and who he was and how he got there. I let the man rest in peace. God bless you. Rest in power. And we certainly thank you for the service that you provided to our community. But I want to get right into, we're going to transition really quickly into this conversation. I want to show this book once again to those of you who are out there in the social media stream. That beautiful face, looking just like her late mother. Oh my God. Do you get that often?
Very often.
All right. We're going to bring into the stream, if we could, Miss Jamar, author of Single Good. Did I get it right?
You did.
I wanted to make sure I got the emphasis correct.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I cannot complain. All is well.
All right. Come on. Lean on in about 6 to 12 inches from that mic.
All right.
All right. There you go. I hear your voice. I'm certainly excited to have you back. Every time you come, it is an impactful moment. Today, you are coming in a new capacity as the author of an amazing book.
Yes.
Single Good. I just wanted to make sure I got the emphasis. Tell us about the title of this book, Single Good.
So it's been a journey in singleness. And when I thought about it, I've spent a lot of time with God, and I'm like, okay, singleness, marriage, relationships, and all of that. And it clicked one day that singleness is good. And so did a lot of research, went back to Adam and Eve.
Okay.
Went to the life of Jesus, went to marriages in the Bible. And I found a common thread amongst all of these people, specifically with Adam and Jesus. Adam was in covenant with God first. Same with Jesus. He walked in purpose, and then God decided that it was time for him to have a spouse. And so then family followed after that. And so there is an order, which is covenant, purpose, marriage, and family.
Okay.
And I was blessed to see that pattern in the life of Adam and in the life of Jesus. And so the thing that blessed me the most is that I realized that I had been out of order. I had been trying to pursue purpose. I had been trying to pursue love and marriage, but I was not in covenant.
Wow.
So singleness is good.
Singleness is good.
Yes.
You know, I always tell people, you know, I too am an author. I wrote a book, All Women Love Chocolate. We got to get together and have, because there are some other books out there about relationship. And I need to let people know I am really officially single for real.
Yeah.
For real. And Yvonne's over there looking like, nah, Kareem. I just want to make sure because, you know, I had been attached for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But it's time to move forward.
Yes.
And, you know, it's interesting because I was talking, and while we were talking, you made the statement that when you were writing this book, you had the last time you were here, you were just coming. Share with what was going on. The last time you were here, you were just coming out of a situation.
So the last time that I was here at KISS 107.1 was for Straight Talk with Kareem. It was in 2018, 2019. That was about the time that I was coming out of the relationship where I was engaged. And I do talk about that engagement in my book, and not from a place of shame, but from a place of deliverance. And just realizing the fact that I was out of order because I was engaged. I was getting ready to walk down the aisle. I had planned the wedding. I bought the dress. We flew to another country to pay for the wedding, and to plan it and everything. And I thank God that I did not go through with that marriage, because I'm positive that it would have ended in a way that would have been adverse to us both.
Wow.
Because it was not God ordained.
Wow. So what was the indicator? What was the thing that you, maybe the red flag that you had missed that you caught in the last or in the nick of time? What was it?
Not even red flags.
Okay.
There were things that were not right, again, because I was out of order.
Okay.
I'm going to focus on myself. So being out of order, and then also being able to hear very clearly from the Holy Spirit.
Absolutely.
And just the fact that the Holy Spirit told me, I have more for you. And I've tried to, block out his voice. I tried to continue on and tried to press through and make my way to the altar. And the Holy Spirit kept telling me, no. And it got to a point where I talk about it in the book. It's titled Language Confused. That's a part of chapter 1, where basically our communication, the friction in the relationship, it blew up. It came to a head.
Yeah.
And at that point, I left the relationship. And unfortunately, people look at it from the outside like, you called off a wedding, you didn't get married, you didn't go through with it, but it was for the best.
But it was for the best.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad. I'm glad that you said that the way that you did. You said not red flags, but just an awareness. Yep. And I think that sometimes people need to just be aware of not being in alignment with God the way they need to be.
Yeah.
But then also the person that you're interested in, are they also in alignment? Do they have a submitted relationship to God? Because people always say, hey, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
But if you're a believer, you want someone who has submitted their life to Christ. And there's a big difference. In your book, you talk, your chapter number 1, you alluded to it, but the title, False Start, because I'm come from track and field. False start is when you get in the block, you get ready, set, pop, you take a step too soon, you're out of step, and you got to get back in the blocks. And sometimes you can disqualify that opportunity. Let's talk about false start. What are we talking about?
So false start, I preached a sermon, so I am in ministry. I have been ministering, and I ministered about false starts. And when I started writing my book, I was like, what better place to start than the false start?
Right.
And so having the experience of being engaged and calling it off, that was a false start, because I was in the position of singleness, but it was not time for me to pursue love or marriage.
Right.
And so in chapter 1, I basically talk about the fact that when you pursue these things, when you pursue love, when you pursue marriage, and it's not time, you're going to be set back. You're going to be penalized. And so I do get into the definition of what a false start is in American football and in track and field, and just kind of relate singleness to the fact that, you got to stay in position until it's time to move to the next position, until it's advantageous. And I had that experience of being set back.
The title of the book is Single, and it's a question mark, and you give the answer as well. Good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, what have you found as the benefit of being single? There's a lot of people out there, and you'll understand this after you get a certain age. People just, okay, when are you getting married? When, who are you dating? What's going on?
Yeah.
And it lends to this understanding that at a certain age, if you're not taken, then there must be something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But you're giving a different kind of a feel, a different vibe to this, if you will. You're saying that this singleness has a purpose and it's good.
Absolutely.
When you think about this, and what is the revelation and what is the good in single good?
It's so much good in being single, because in this space of singleness, I've had the opportunity to really be in covenant with God and to appreciate that and to walk with him. And so I had to come undone. I had to recognize where I was out of order. I was living in sin. I was dating a lot. I was in so many different relationships. My heart posture was terrible. I had a lot of things that were wrong within me internally. So I was mean, I was cold, I was bitter, I was upset about things that had gone wrong in my life. I held on to so many different things. I was broken from the loss of my mother. There were just so many things wrong. And I needed to address those things. There were things in the bloodline, poverty, sickness, mental illness. There were so many different things that needed to be addressed. And so when I got in covenant with God, I began to see, okay, this is a problem. Because one of the things that I talked about in the book was the fact that my mother was 2 months before she died. 2 months before she died, she was getting ready to close on her home.
Wow.
And my mother never had the opportunity to be a homeowner. And so overcoming that, basically just knocking down those generational curses, like, hey, something's wrong here. And so in singleness is where I had the opportunity to heal, where I had the opportunity to forgive, where I had the opportunity to ask other people to forgive me, and to just be straight up and down about the fact that there were a lot of things wrong with the way that I was living. And in singleness is where I understood that if I had not confronted these issues and eventually decided to marry anybody.
Yeah.
When the two become one flesh, my flesh, their flesh, it becomes one. And so now we have this big pile of whatever we didn't confront.
And you know what's interesting that you put it that way. The Bible says, and these two become one flesh.
Mm-hmm.
That means that somebody's got to lose some parts. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be painful. There's some ripping and some tearing and some re-sewing together.
Yeah.
So I like the fact of what you said when you said you were doing the work on yourself. I remember, I thought I was really good for a long period of time. We think we're good, right?
Yeah, we all do.
But I'll tell you, in 2018, I really began to see myself, and there was a lot about me that I didn't like. There's a lot of arrogance, there was a lot of pride, a lot of those things, similar to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I had to intentionally work on those things. A lot of Kareem had to die.
Yes.
Did you find that a lot of who you were as a person, you good, you got into school, you got your own money, you got your own car, hair done, nails done, everything good, right? I mean, what did you find as you started doing the work on Janae?
What I found is that the way that God allowed me the opportunity, the grace and the mercy to come undone and to be refined and to be purified, the grace that he extended to me, I had to extend that same grace to others. And so what I realized is that healing and that overcoming was not a license for me to look at others as if, they couldn't do the same or as if they were excluded. So the grace and the mercy, the love that God showed me, he has those same things for other people. And so just as I overcame, I had to intercede for others and pray that they overcome.
It's interesting because we always want grace.
Yes.
We want people to see us through the lens of grace, but we see them through the lens of whatever their shortcoming was. So as you begin to write this book, what were some of the other things? Let me ask this question because, see, I knew your mother and I loved your mother. She was a phenomenal woman. And I saw how she raised you up. Your grandmother and my grandparents were great friends.
Yes.
What were the lessons that as you were going through this process that you remember hearing in your ear, maybe that grandma or mama taught you?
So, oh my goodness, so many things. My grandmother, and actually the book is dedicated to my grandmother. One night, it was Easter, the night before Easter, and this was when I was very much living the way that I wanted to live.
Okay.
My friends carried me up the stairs, and my grandmother, she answered the door. And that was a very shameful moment for me. And she asked me, she said, "What about your soul?" And I, what about it at that point?
Right.
But fast forward to present day, like I get it now. She sowed a seed of righteousness.
Okay.
And so even though my heart was hardened, even though I couldn't receive it at the moment, fast forward 10 years later, I get it now. And then also my mother was just a very serious advocate for education.
Yeah.
She taught us to do the right things, to go to church. And even though, she's not here, my mother did put us in church. And so that set things in motion. And I thank God for my mother and my grandmother, because a lot of what is today is because of what they, pushed us and purposed us to do.
Wow. In your book, and we're going to go on to position this question for you to think about before we go to break. In your book, you talk about the covenant of marriage.
Yeah.
That's a heavy, a lot of people like, how's she going to talk about the covenant of marriage and she's single?
Yeah.
When we come back from this commercial break, I want you to share why it was important for you to share as a single woman about the covenant of marriage. Because some folks think that if you ain't married, you shouldn't talk about it. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more of Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Hey, it's Steve Harvey, y'all. Here's what happened on the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
I'm going to trend for the
right now. Uh, I hope that everything is going well out there for you all as I'm looking at it. I lost sound in my ears. Hopefully you guys can hear me out there. But I'm sitting here with authoress Janae Lamar, and we're talking about her book, Single Good.
Yes.
And as we look at this, no, we are back from commercial. If you're out there listening, as you look at this, I want you to think about this beautiful woman. She just gave an amazing testimony. I'll let her share that in her own time, and understand we're going to bring her back because I think the decision to be in a relationship, the importance of the process of singleness, the desire for many to be in a relationship and to have a fruitful marriage, starts with, as you said, Janae, with God being God-centeredness, right?
Yes.
So you shared something when we were talking about, I asked you the question, why this conversation about covenant relationship or covenant marriage? And you put it in the book. So let's talk about that.
And so we were going to pick up with the covenant of marriage. And you asked a spicy question that others might ask. Well, you're not married, you're single. Why are you talking about it? But so it's very important to understand the covenant of marriage because a lot of people don't understand that we're supposed to be in covenant with God first. And that marriage to an earthly spouse, that starts in God's spirit.
And what do you mean by that? It starts in God's spirit.
So if you look at Genesis, where at the point where God declared that it was not good for Adam to be alone.
Right.
God is a spirit. Those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. And at that point, God is saying, this is what I have for Adam at this appointed time. It's no longer good for him to be alone. And so when God ordains a thing, that's when you can rest and be like, okay, this is good. So that's where marriage started for Adam. It didn't even start at the point that God created Eve. It started when he spoke that this is what Adam needed.
So in terms of today, if I'm having a conversation, there's people listening that are in a relationship and they want a godly relationship. When you say it starts in God's spirit, what does that look like today? From Genesis to today?
So in my mind, that looks like, God created us all. He all formed us in our mother's wombs. He knew us. Like God had this person in mind even before we ever came to be. And it's a lot to think about, but it's not a lot when you understand like how great and how big God is. And as we go through life, as we walk through these phases of singleness, as we grow up, as we submit to him, when we're in covenant with God, he's going to reveal who the spouse is. And so we don't even have to worry about it. Worry about being in covenant, Jesus at this point being your spouse first, being married to Jesus. And then as you're in covenant and as your purpose is revealed to you, your spouse will be revealed to you at some point.
Because some of us are single, but we're not really single.
Yeah.
We're alone, but we ain't single.
Correct.
Because we are still tied to previous relationships. Yes. We haven't been healed from past traumas. Mm-hmm. And we haven't even become single in our seeking, right? Yep. We're holding on to something saying, God, we want what you have, but you won't cut loose the phone calls. Yes. You won't block numbers off that need to be blocked. And so it's important for us to realize that. And I'll say this, in 2018, especially 2019 is when it started. It meant that I had to go inward. Yep. And really deal with Kareem, the arrogant, the prideful individual, mm-hmm. The individual who is hard to get along with. And I'm still dealing with those things, right? Because we live and become this person. Yep. And it takes us time to really figure out who we are. So when we shine the light, not on the other person, let's see if their credit's good. Let's see if they pay their bills. Let's see but we turn that light on and we look introspectively at ourselves. And we begin to say, you know what? This is real foul. I can be short-winded, short-sighted. I can be a little mean here, mean-spirited. We have to be able to do the work. Yeah. For folks who are looking out there, how does this work start? Where do you begin the work?
So chapter 2 is seek him first. And when you begin to seek God, you'll get to a point where he circumcises your heart, where he begins to cut away the things that are not like him. And so if cheating is a thing, he's going to circumcise your heart. If lying, if stealing, if scheming, plotting, anything wrong anything that is not of God that is in you, he's going to cut those things away. But you have to be open to that. You can't, one thing gets cut away and then you decide, okay, God, I'm done. I don't want any more cutting. Like you have to be open to the cutting.
Or you tell him what it is you want him to cut.
No, yeah, you have to be open to the cutting because he's refining us. He's doing a new work in us, a new thing, and you just have to be open to that.
All right, so we're going to bring you back, and for those of you who are listening and those who are going to catch this conversation, if you're out there, you're looking to get marriage, I got a whole bunch of marriage counseling that's coming up going on. I'm gonna make sure that they're listening and tuning in.
Yeah.
If you're out there in your relationship and you're trying to figure out where I am, I'm going to tell you that's an indication, because if you're not secure in where you are, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
But whatever the relationship is, whatever the situation or the situationship, we're going to bring in Janae and we're going to have these conversations as we walk through this, because people are, Valentine's Day has passed.
Yes.
And there was a whole bunch of people who were sitting out there mad, singing them up, what do the lonely do at Christmas? And now it's Valentine's Day and that's gone too.
Yeah.
So we're going to have this conversation. We're going to create an atmosphere and a place for people to have real meaningful conversations about relationship. My sister out there all the way from Texas, Kelly Keaton Petros, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Trust the journey. That's right. We got to trust the process. But just last minute, what are the last words you like to share? She's going to be on with me again on next week with a new cast and a new conversation.
Sure thing.
What would you like to share in closing?
So we were leaving off with seeking him first. And what I want to leave people with is this. Once you get into your seek with God, once it goes deeper, you are going to have to cut people off. You do have to let go of the FaceTime calls, the text messages, the late night pillow talking and all of that. Like, you have to be single and so submitted to God to where you go where he tells you to go. You do what he tells you to do, radical obedience. And that's real singleness when there are no strings attached. And that's what happened for me. So be okay with being single because it's good.
Single, good.
Yes.
That is the title of the book by Miss Janae Lamar. Miss Janae Lamar, where can they get this book?
You can order the book online at www.trulyjanaelamar.com, and that is JANEYLAMAR. And if you Google it, it will come up. If you're local, just inbox me on Facebook. I have my real name, Janae Lamar, and we'll make sure that you get the book.
All right, trulyjanaelamar.com.
Yes.
Let's go out there, get the book, get your copy so that when we begin this conversation, we'll have you'll have a context by which we're taking this conversation. We're going to take another commercial break. When I come back, we're going to be with, I think, one of the greatest young men who is relevant to our community and to what is the voice of young people today. And I'm talking about none other than HBK Boom. He's going to be with us when we come back with more Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is your KISS community page where you can find out about all of the great things that
This in the social media stream for those of you who are listening. Once again, let's please like, tag, and share this conversation. We do have your afternoon girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels, on the board for us this evening. She back there cracking up. She's like, please don't tell people I'm on here, please. Because normally she's doing a great job today. Normally we have a very colorful experience when we come together. But we have a young man in the stream right now. His name is Eddie Thigpen Jr.
The third.
The third?
Yeah.
Okay, the third. But everyone out there knows him as HBK Boom. Boom, what's good with you?
Man, just chilling, just stacking days.
Stacking days. I told him,
sir.
man, the last time you were here, it seems like you've grown even as an adult.
Yeah.
And you've gained some stature. But hey, he was one of the guys that came in when we were doing this Community Violence Intervention Council. We wanted to have a space where young people could be engaged. Of course, Brian Pruitt and I, we've been hitting it strong since 2000, literally going from LA to DC, doing things that impacted young people. But since I've met this young man and I've kind of watched him from a distance, we have had some engagement. I realize that he's one of those young men who has the ear of this younger generation. And I'm smart enough to realize that when you see people who have a natural connection, that you have to use them. Mr. Boom, what is it that Mr. Boom? What is it? What Mr. Boom, right? What is it that makes you relevant to this current generation?
I think I just relate. I go out my way to try to relate to him in a different way. You know, I never really tried to submit my urbanness in a sense, but I try to get him to feel like you don't have to criminalize yourself to be urban. You know, I think that's kind of that's what I always sought out. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of how I connect with the kids for real.
Okay. There is something that you put in, I'm not sure if it's the beat or if it's the wordplay, but many folks out there, because it went viral, the video you did, was it Armor?
Yeah.
And you did Rouse House.
Yeah.
I saw it and there was something that was ticking in the back of my mind. It's now come into full picture. So I'm going to talk with you about that a little bit later. But when you connect and the lyrics that you come up with, what is the driving force behind your wordplay and the lyrics to your music? Because that is the thing I think that draws young people in. Yeah. Where does that come from?
Really just being true to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to get on no song and talk about nothing I'm not doing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of just where it all spurred from, for real. I just try to be true to myself with it. And I think people gravitate towards that.
Okay. It does help that you are in the educational system.
Yeah.
So you are dealing with young people every day. You're having conversations. You're seeing the person that they bring in, the person that they leave outside the classroom. And quite possibly you're seeing a lot of the person that they are in their home.
Yeah.
It was interesting during COVID. There was a great concern for young people who were left home.
Yeah.
Because they were saying that the number of cases of abuse increased during COVID because folks were at home. What is the message that you hear young people sharing about the struggles, the pains, the things that they're going through?
Really just not having that voice. You know what I'm saying? Just not knowing what to say, when to say it, who to say it to. I think as a culture, and Black culture specifically, I think we subdue a lot of stuff and try to like dumb it down and act like it's not an issue. I kind of was just talking about that with one of my mentors today, just being numb to violence around here. Just really not even just around here, just in general, a country issue. Like, we just numb to stuff and we just numb it. And even like going back to COVID, like leaving kids at home with a computer thinking they're going to sit there and go to school. That was my worst collegiate year. Like, my GPA dropped like 8 from I had like a 3.1, 2.9, something. I went to like a 2.3. Like, it was bad. Like, so if I was going through that as a grown adult in college, I only could imagine that for a kid.
What was the struggle? Do you think it was the focus? What was the struggle?
I think it was the focus. I think it's different. I'm a hands-on learner. You know, I need to see it. I need to hear it. I need to be in front of it. You can't really just give me directions and be like, do this. I'm gonna be like, okay, you know, like I almost need to see it. I'm an example type of person. I'm a visual learner.
Okay.
So I think that's where I struggled the most. So I only can imagine that for a kid. That's that same way.
All right. I'm going to ask you one more question along this line. Then we're going to get into the music, the culture, where music is going and what you're sensing on the horizon. Because what I've noticed, and I said this to you while we're off, You were real hitting it hard for a period of time, and then I saw kind of like a pullback.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing a resurgence and a
Yeah.
push forward. When you look at what we're dealing with young kids, the issues that are out there, what are we missing? What are adults missing that young people are trying to say, but we just aren't hearing?
Man, just compassion and just understanding they angle. I think it done got to a point where most y'all don't have this issue though, because y'all, y'all always
we ain't got
understand.
this.
You know,
we good, Yvonne.
y'all great, be good. But I think a lot of adults, they don't put themselves in the mindset of you as a kid before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just understanding like, okay, this kid gonna make mistakes. This kid might mess up. This kid might not really know how to converse what they're going through. And I think that's a niche that I have. Like I can look at a kid and be like, okay, I almost can tell he got a lot going on or she got a lot going on in her mind. And I know, all right, if I do this, it's probably going to trigger it. I don't think adults think like that as much as they should. I think that's really what's missing in culture for real.
So adults spend a lot of time doing what they think is best, but sometimes triggering kids to responses that are not necessarily what they're looking for.
Right. And a kid will shut down, and I think once we get back to trying to understand, like, okay, this is a kid, but they're going to be adult one day too. Maybe if I teach them a certain way, they'll understand and they'll grow into what I think they could be. And understanding the kid going to bump their head. Like, you can't change them like this,
You know what a Rubik's Cube is?
Yeah.
All right. I'm asking that. Yvonne's over there looking like, of course he doesn't know.
I ain't taking her. I know the Rubik's Cube. Yeah.
Most adults struggle with Rubik's Cubes. They could get one side, maybe two sides together, because it really takes time and patience, and you've got to pay attention to all of the moves that you're making.
Absolutely.
And we approach dealing with kids the same way. And so we struggle with really trying to unlock the pattern. I've seen people, they say it's really easy, and they go through it because they've taken time. But they've taken time to understand how it works. And so with young people, we've got to be willing to do the same thing. Man, I want to get to this because I'm kind of interested in terms of what I see taking place. I see a reemergence of Boom. There's new music that's coming out.
Absolutely.
Okay, let me know what's going on and what we need to be anticipating from your field.
I'm just dropping singles right now for real.
Okay. Are you just playing with us, or is there a master plan at hand?
No, I always got a plan.
Okay.
I always got a plan, man. I kind of stepped back from dropping projects because the way the music scene is right now, people not really listening to projects up and down because I call them microwave moms, man.
What's that song?
There's one, they want to hear one song for 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. I'm not against adjusting. So I've been dropping singles, getting into the reels, doing more content. I really wish I know how to use TikTok, but I really know how to use it.
Okay. So this, how about this? Because I think that you have goods that would work well on social media platforms. I think TikTok would love you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna connect you with somebody who's doing TikTok well.
Bet.
All right. Bet. And I think that you just give me a 20%. I'm gonna manage that.
That's a bet. That's cool with me.
Hey, we gotta work these areas, right?
Cool with me.
No, but I do want to talk about the changing and the dynamic. There's a shifting in what the sound is. The musical sound has shifted a lot. Now, if you are an 80s head, a 90s head, what's going on? What is this shift, and what are we experiencing right now in music, especially with this? Social media is creating more millionaires in music than any other area. But go ahead.
I think right now it's just music working cycles. And I think right now the cycle is sampling beats, going back to the oldies. I do it a lot. I respect them though. I do them justice, and I think over the last about 2-3 years, I kind of got into the producer world a little bit more. And that kind of been a light and shining armor for me, just producing for different artists across the Midwest.
So samples. What kinds of samples are we listening to now? I mean, what are the things that we are anticipating are going to be the thing that we're going to be hearing drop? Because I'll tell you what, the Jamie Foxx, when he came out, I got some Marvin Gaye. Yeah. It ushered in a whole new sound that was hot for that moment.
Absolutely.
So are you saying that we're going back to pulling back some of those samples?
Absolutely.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Me personally, I like samples with strings, like good vocals. Like, I didn't play with that sample before, like not Marvin Gaye version, but Jamie Foxx version. I don't even know if that's Marvin Gaye song, but Jamie Foxx version. But I think that's just what's the new resurgence like. And I think it's connected eras though. You know what I'm saying? Like, my era, we wasn't raised on that music, but we can hear it and differentiate it and like it, you know what I'm saying, and connect with the older generation. And I think at first they was kind of weary of it, but I think the more they hear it and it sound good, long as it sound good, they don't be against it. Like Sexy Red almost messed up Michael Jackson classic. I ain't gonna talk too much about that because I love Sexy Red.
All of us 80s and 70s, 80s, and 90s babies was sitting like, come on, no.
I was like, no, but I love Sexy Red, but I'm like, no, don't mess with that like that. But that's the thing now, you know, people just going back to the oldies, bringing them back. And I think music works in cycles. Like you said, Jamie Foxx and them was doing it when they first came out. It went away for a little second, now it's back. So
I'm going to tell you, when it comes to Michael, you have to be a certain kind of artist.
yeah, I don't touch Michael Jackson.
That to be able, I'm going to tell you, the only one that I can think of right now that has been able to successfully sample Mike and make it happen was it Coco and what was the name? Human Nature. Yes.
Oh yeah,
man.
Yeah.
SWV. Yeah.
That's a different type of artist.
That-
They cold.
But I mean, unless you come in that way, leave Mike alone.
Mike, is there certain people you can't mess with? Like Mike, I'm not touching no Mike. It's just something about it. Like you can't touch that raw original track. Like I don't know. It's just something about Michael Jackson songs I don't mess with.
All right, let's talk about what the future holds, the near future for Boom. What does it look like? Are you going to be making more appearances? I know you did something recently. Whenever you come, you have a following now. It was funny because for the conference, the CBI conference, we had somebody come from Kalamazoo who's actually from Arkansas.
Oh, that guy was from KZoo?
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
But he comes in and he's talking about your music.
Yeah.
Like, I saw you. Didn't you perform at? And it was, one of those moments. What is next? What's on the horizon? What can people look forward to coming out from you?
Just continuing to expand for real. And I think I'm at the point now where like I'm kind of established in the state, just trying to get bigger than just the state. I mean, I don't really fish for hits, but I feel like another hit record gonna come pretty soon. Just staying consistent in my work.
All right, this is what I hope. I know that we have the African American Cultural Festival coming on. Have you ever performed on stage there?
No, I've been trying.
I'm saying that for a purpose.
Yeah, I've been trying, man. I've been trying. Me and Miss Baldwin, we connect and talk on the committee. We talked on the committee end a little bit, and I'm like, hey, put me on there.
All right. So one thing that we've done, I'm going to tell you, there have been a number of things that I've been really excited about. Last year was Black Excellence. I love what they're doing over the Saginaw African Cultural Festival. It is the longest one of its kind.
Absolutely.
Support, more power to you. I love to see when my people come together. I think that last year was a great show.
Absolutely.
In terms of we can produce great shows. Our community will come out and support.
Absolutely.
Even with local talent.
Absolutely.
And that's what I loved about it. Now, my other time that I would say is when the late, great Angie Stone was here.
Oh, she came to the
Man, it was one of the best moments that I think in my lifetime I've seen from the city of Saginaw. The Black love was on full effect. It was everywhere. Shout out to James and James Owen Jr. 2, JW2, all of them for bringing that stuff here.
Yeah, that's dope.
I would love to see Boom. Now, this is the thing, Boom, because what do you say to folks who say, well, when we bring Boom to the table, and this is a real conversation, when we bring Boom to the table, he's gonna bring out these young jacks.
Yeah.
And they gonna be clowning.
No.
And we can't have a good time
Yeah.
because they gonna mess it up because these young kids, we don't know how to do. What do you say to somebody like that?
I think my light is different, man. I think my whole demeanor is different. I don't think I draw that crowd of kids, which to contrary belief, if you put it under one umbrella, it's easy to think that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think I'm more of a positive light. And I think kids respect me enough to know, like, hey, if Boom was to perform at the Black Arts Festival, I don't think my music don't even take people there. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll work. It'll be beautiful, man. It'll be fun. I think it should happen. I think this the year it should happen. I think it's supposed to been happen.
Hey, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say to all of those Boom followers, all of your listeners out there, put it in the chat. Let them hear it. Put it in the stream. Let the people know that, hey, you want someone who represents you. We don't want candy-coated folks coming in with watered-down messaging. It is not a season to tell us what we want, but let us know what you think. And I think, and I say this, and I'm sorry to my people of the Second African Cultural Festival.
I love them.
I love them too. And they goes like, Kareem, why did you put us out there like that? But I want us to make sure, because they're doing something that is so amazing. I have not seen Black Love in Saginaw the way that I've seen the Saginaw African Cultural Festival put it together.
Facts.
What I do love about what they're doing over there, shout out to Arshan and to Karen and to Ralph and to my girl Yvonne Daniels, who is out there. She's like, yeah, she's over there egging it on. Like, yeah, I'm over there too. What I do love is the fact that they have been bringing in different types of art,
Facts.
different types of music. I want to give a shout out, and I got to do this. I meant to do this at the top of the hour. There is no way in the world that I can complete this show without giving a shout out to my girl, Naisha Young, who has been such an aspiring force and inspiring so many people in our community. She went so quickly away. We talked about it before the show. I failed to share that during the course of the show. Charge that to my head and not my heart. That was my sister. I loved her. We had a secret love affair. She called me Stink. But I absolutely love her. She will be missed, not able to be replaced. And so our heart and prayers, our thoughts are going to be with her. We are going to do a show just kind of sharing with her because she was an artist in so many ways.
Facts.
So many people out here, Julian Taylor saying boom for the African Cultural Festival, The Spot, HBK, even Arsha, my guy, boom. They're out there, and I think your people are out there, and they're waiting for this moment. What do you think that you bring to that kind of a stage?
I think I bring like a presence, you know what I'm saying, a positive influence. I think I'm just a positive influence on this city. Like, I think a lot of people just put their mind in a certain state when it comes to the younger kids, right? And I don't think they should, you know what I'm saying? Even with, if I was to come perform, it's different clothing brands around here that need tables. You got Villains, you got Mar, this one is hats.
So you're saying that when you come, there's clothing brands that would need to be present.
Man, need to at this point, because we got to segue the generations. Like,
yes.
I think it's time to bring it all together and be a community again. And I look at cities like Flint, for example. Violence is everywhere. Stuff is going to happen. But if you pull it together enough, great stuff can happen. I done performed down there enough to know Saginaw can get through an event, a Black event, and it be positive and it be fun.
We've been doing it. We've been having it. Now,
Facts,
the thing,
exactly.
and I'll tell you this, because we cannot continue to have events and we don't engage and entertain that younger generation, because what it will become is an issue of us versus them. And when we do that, we lose a voice and we lose the ability to speak into that generation. So I hope that we really think about this. Boom. I want to thank you for coming in.
Anytime.
I've got an idea that we will bring you in again. This won't be the last time that we see you. Anything that you want to say, last couple words before we give a sign off here on Straight Talk?
Shout out to the city, man. Let's keep stuff rolling. New music coming soon, more new music. I had fun at the conference yesterday. Keep giving back, man. I hope what I'm doing inspire people to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself, be true to yourself, be true to your city. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, y'all like, tag, and share Saginaw Cultural Festival, Saginaw African Cultural Festival. There we go. It's a mouthful right now. Let's tag it in there. Make your comments. We want boom this year at the SACF, performing on the stage, making great things happen. To all of you out there, thank you for continually tuning in to Straight Talk. And as always, take care of yourselves and each other. God bless you. Grace and peace.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on this show by the host